Now, why do we need to learn these different parts of speech? Why do we need to learn grammar at all to be able to speak? Let us see them, one by one and see why are these different parts of speech needed. 1. Nouns. We need to know what nouns are to be able to use the articles correctly. Articles a and are used with singular, common, concrete nouns like chair, boy, monkey, armchair, ant. These articles are not used with abstract nouns, non-countable nouns or plural nouns. So to know the use of articles, we have to know what nouns, what kind of nouns are. Like we do not say a kindness, a Peter, a sugar or an elephants. So for plural nouns, for non-countable nouns, abstract nouns, proper nouns, there is no use of articles. But if the noun is concrete, if the noun is common, and if it is singular, if it meets all these three conditions, you cannot use it without a or an. Depends on the first vowel sound, whether you use a or an. But one of the two you have to use. So to know where to use a and an in a sentence, you have to have the knowledge of nouns. Now pronouns. Now it is important to know the kinds of pronouns so that we use them in the correct position. Like subject pronouns, I, you, we, they, he, she, it can only be used in the subject position. The object pronouns me, you, us, them, her, it, they replace the nouns in the object position. We cannot say me is going for a picnic with she. So she is going for a picnic with me. So she is the object, is the subject pronoun, so used in the subject position. Me is the object pronoun, so used in the object position. And similarly, when you have possessive pronouns or reflexive pronouns, the position of pronouns can, in a sentence, can only be determined if you have the knowledge of pronouns. Then adjectives. We need adjectives to make descriptions of objects, of people interesting and vivid. Like when we say 3 fat men with their ungainly, ugly wives walk down a narrow street lined with flowering trees. It gives you an image. It's interesting. Instead of that, if I say 3 men with their wives walk down a street, it's so bland. It doesn't give you that picture sense. So adjectives add interest to language. That is why it's important to study adjectives. Now verbs and tenses. If we don't know the verbs and the tenses, our speech would be utterly confusing. The actions we refer to will have no sense of time. If I say I play, it can mean that yesterday I played, or tomorrow I'll play, or I played just before something else. It will be utter confusion. There can be no sensible conversation without the knowledge of tenses. So how would this sound? He write to the principal to postpone the examinations. Now, the sentence does not clarify whether he is writing, or he has already written, or will write in the future. Therefore, students do not know if the examinations will be postponed or not. So that is why verbs and tenses are very important. Now, adverbs. Adverbs, like adjectives, describe the action. So the 3 degrees of positive, comparative, superlative. It gives you the way to judge one action against the other. Whether you run fast, or you run faster than somebody, or you run the fastest. You can only know if you know the adverbs and know these 3 degrees of comparison. Otherwise, how can you compare any quality? Now, conjunctions. Now, if you don't, without conjunctions, the speech and writing would be disjointed and very, very boring, because we'll be making small sentences and they'll not be connected. So, conjunctions help us to connect and sequence our actions and make the speech crisp and interesting. Instead of saying, Beena is hungry, Sheila is hungry, it is better to say, Beena and Sheila are hungry. So, when you concise it, it becomes crisp. Prepositions are very important because they are like bridges Without them, the nouns and pronouns would be floating, directionless. So they link the noun to another word in the sentence, noun or pronoun. So there is a stain on the dress. Where is the stain? We have to know where the stain is. So it is on the dress. So similarly, anything which tells you position, unless you know the position, you don't know where things are. Now modals like can, should, must, may, might, will, we modify the meaning of verbs. Now when I say I read, that means it's my habit, I read. When I say I can read, I have the ability to read. I should read, that means I have this responsibility on me, I should read. I may read, I have a choice, I may read, I may not read. So all the three sentences convey a totally different meaning. That is why it's very important to study modals. Now what do interjections do? Interjections convey an emotion in a sentence. Now when we say, oh, so it's a feeling of surprise. Otherwise, there'd be nothing. Sentences would be so bland. Alas, he's dead, feeling of grief. Wow, feeling of wonder. When somebody is wearing a nice dress, if you say, oh, you're wearing a nice dress. Oh, wow, what a nice dress. So there's a difference between the two. So this is why these figures of speech, the knowledge of figures of speech is important, so that you can convey a proper meaning of the language that you use.